Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 9, Episode 11. Do you really want to hurt me? I haven't watched yet. I'm going to be doing that as I'm talking to you guys, so let's get started. Okay, the opening scene is pretty cute. I forgot the name of the company already. Petite and Pretty or something. It's a makeup line for kids. They reached out to Kyle because they saw an Instagram picture she posted of Portia putting makeup on Teddy, which is very cute. So they reached out to her and they want Portia to be a model. So Teddy and Kyle show up at the studio and they're doing a little photo shoot with Slade and Portia. And it's adorable. While the girls are getting their makeup on, Teddy and Kyle are chatting. Kyle shows Teddy the bridesmaid dresses that Camille has picked out. Kyle's like, oh my God, it's a cap sleeve. The dresses are fine, but she doesn't like the little cap sleeve because she thinks it makes her fat arms look like pork chops. Yeah, cry me a river. And then Teddy talked about the RV trip. And apparently a few weeks earlier, she mentioned to Kyle, Denise, and Erica that Edwin has an RV and they should go on a little trip together. And Erica's like, I want to go camping. I can't imagine these ladies camping. Although I'm sure it's going to be a little more like glamping with these women. And also the RV is probably gorgeous inside, you know? Next, we have a little throwaway scene at Lisa Rinna's house. She's FaceTiming Erica, who is on stage getting ready for her show that's in a few hours. I don't know where the tour is kicking off. In any case, Erica seemed a little busy, but that did not stop Rinna from telling her the story of the dinner for Lois and how Camille had talked to Lisa Vanderpump and she told her that she was not invited to Camille's shower. So I don't know. Now Erica is in the loop, I guess, was the whole point of that scene. Now we are at the gym with Denise and Aaron. And Denise is like, you know what's nice? I don't have to hire a trainer with you around. And he's like, no, or a babysitter. So, yes, their married life is blissful. They wake up and have sex every morning. And then they go to the gym every morning for their second workout of the day. She tells him a little bit about what happened at the Lois's dinner, and she said, yeah, it's crazy. Lisa Vanderpump didn't show up again, and he said, oh, she didn't? Denise said, no, I am going to go out to lunch with her, though. And then she gets a text, I don't know if it's from her daughter or just about her daughter, but anyway, some boy is asking her to a dance. We flash back to when Sammy said, if a guy asked me to a dance, can I go? And she asked Charlie Sheen, and he said, well, I think if you think it's the right guy, you'll know, something like that. Denise said something like, oh, they're just growing up so fast. And Aaron said, oh, they're always going to be your daughters. And she goes, it's not that. And then she kind of tears up and she said, I just feel like I f***ed up a lot when they were little with their dad. And he goes, no, you didn't. You protected them from a lot of that stuff. And she said, I know, but I feel like they were exposed to a lot of fighting. They're grown in the blink of an eye. It all went by so fast, and she's kind of having some regret. Okay, Dorit and the kids are heading over to Kyle's house, and Jagger is playing his little toy guitar, singing rock and roll. It's kind of cute. When they get to Kyle's, the kids go upstairs. Portia is in her room with her friend. Phoenix goes in there and goes, my girls. These are my girls. She thinks they're her friends. It's so cute. So the kids are upstairs and the ladies go out into the backyard. And Kyle said, are we going to see Boy George? And she said, yeah. So I guess Culture Club is playing and they're all invited except Lisa Vanderpump. Dorit said, I mean, any other friend of mine who wanted space from me, I would give them their space. Okay. So, I mean, that's how she's playing it. That's fine. I think she could have and probably should have invited her, but she isn't. Now we cut over to Lisa's house, and the kitchen is completely gutted. It is just one empty room, a huge empty room. Now you can see how big the kitchen really was. It's probably going to look fantastic. I did not like the way it was divided up before. I told you it looks like Rose, like from like a cooking show. Have you guys ever seen the Great British Baking Show? If you haven't, you should. It's awesome. But anyway, it reminded me of that in a way, where each contestant is behind their own counter. Okay, so now I think we might be doing one of those back and forth things. Lisa Vanderpump is driving to Villa Blanca to have lunch with Denise Richards. And she has these 2 packages for Denise for her wedding gifts. Oh, the bows keep falling off and she's struggling with them in the car. And then when she gets there, she puts them on the table, but she says to somebody, I think these need to be rewrapped. But Denise is right there and there isn't time, so she opens them and they're pink porcelain vases. They were $400. And so she opened one and then Lisa said, oh, this is just a smaller one. So I guess it's like a set. I didn't like them, but as Lisa Vanderpump said, who can resist pink porcelain? I liked the shape. I thought that was kind of cool. Denise said, well, I've missed you. You know, we haven't seen very much of you. And well, no, that was my choice. I think Denise said something like, these women care about you. And I really think you could repair your friendship, especially with Kyle. And Lisa said, when you swear on your children's lives and your friend doesn't believe you, I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. Now we're cutting back over to Kyle's house. And they're talking about Denise's lunch with Lisa Vanderpump. Kyle's like, what is Denise going to say to her? And Dorit said, well, I just think she's probably going to go in with kid gloves. You know, Denise has some experience with similar personalities, like her ex-husband. And Kyle goes, you're comparing Lisa Vanderpump to Charlie Sheen? Oh, hold on a second. In Kyle's confessional, she said, well, they are both Virgos. And Virgos tend to be all me, 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 me. So maybe she's onto something there. Excuse me. Number one, how do you know they're both Virgos? Like, how does Kyle know what sign Charlie Sheen is? And number two, I'm a Virgo. And I do not think I am all me, 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 me. Back at Villa Blanca, Denise said, you know, I went through a terrible divorce and I had to go on talk shows and be in the press. And Lisa said, that was your choice. I can't explain why. I feel like I was in a place where I wanted to retreat. In the confessional, Denise said, well, if she cannot explain that, then I would think she would be in a place where she would want to repair it and not just throw away a friendship. I would think she would want to defend herself if these are things she really didn't do. Yeah. We are going back and forth. I feel like Kyle is hung up on this, hey, listen, I don't love everything you do. Yes, you did this, but I still love you. I still care about you. We're still friends. But if Lisa did not do this, I can understand Lisa not, that's not okay. That's like taking a plea bargain when you're innocent. Okay, that might be a way to move forward, but it's like I'm admitting guilt in order to move forward. And I'm not guilty. So that I understand. I don't know, back at Villa Blanca, Lisa is saying, you don't scream at people if you love them. You don't let them go to bed in tears. She's hurt by Kyle, and I understand it. But I do think if I were completely innocent, I would want to get the whole gang together and calmly tell my truth. At that point, if you still don't believe me, then okay, we're done here. Maybe it is just a matter of timing. Her brother just died, and maybe she's just right now in a place where if they aren't going to believe her, she's not going to waste her time trying to get them to believe her. I don't know. Anyway, Kyle says that Lisa's MO is to always just leave. And Kyle would like her to come back and talk it out with her. Back at Villa Blanca, Denise said, well, you know what? You are very missed. These women love you and you're very missed. We are going on an RV trip and I would love for you to come. And Lisa, in her confessional, Lisa Vanderpump said, even if she suggested we are going shopping with George Clooney in Paris, I wouldn't want to go with these women. But an RV trip? No, thank you. I'll pass. I was thinking the same thing, like, oh, Denise, that does not sound that appealing. We're all going to be shoved in an RV together. I'm in. Okay, next, all the ladies are showing up at Teddy's house before the Boy George concert. I don't know. I guess they're all going to go together. And the nanny is there with the kids, and I mean, it is kind of cute. Slate is answering the door for everybody, and usually the nanny and the children are out of sight. Oh, Cruz is having a hard time with Teddy leaving, though. I feel bad for him. He's crying. He doesn't want her to go. You know, PK is he his manager? I don't know what PK does for a living. Anyway, he's in the back, and he's got, like, you know, special credentials and stuff. And I guess Dorit does as well, because Dorit comes in the back, and he's like, there you are, babe. And she said, I'm here, PK. And he said, I just got off the phone. I talked to Kenny. And she's like, oh, you did? What did he say? I'll tell you later. And she goes, PK, you can't just do that. If you haven't spoken to somebody in 2 weeks and then you talk to them, you can't just say, well, I'll tell you tomorrow. And he said, okay. Then I called him on the phone. I said, you know, I think two old friends can get together and talk. And we can see on the screen what Ken is saying on the other end. And he said, Lisa is done with these women. PK said, if you're talking about Teddy Mellencamp and Kyle, that's different. Don't lump Dorit and I in the same category. Okay. I mean, I know what he's saying. They're old friends from London, but I feel like she's closer friends with Kyle than Dorit. So anyway, Ken is going to check with Lisa and see. So maybe they're going to get together. I think it's just the two guys, though. So does Ken really have to check with Lisa to see if he can go out with PK? Is that what he's saying? Or are they trying to get together, all four of them? I think it was just the guys. Now we're checking in with all the ladies on the bus heading to the concert. They ask Erica how her tour's going, and everything's great. She sold out Jersey City. That was her first concert. And then she's going to go on and do all these other cities, and she's hosting the AMAs, and she's just, you know, saying yes to everything, and then she'll, like, lay down and die later. And then Teddy said, okay, I'm just going to say this and get it over with, and we don't have to talk about this the whole rest of the night, but I reached out to Lisa Vanderpump and I texted her. So she reads the text to everybody, and it was basically, I know we're not going to see eye to eye, and that's okay. I just want you to know I have no ill will toward you, and I think we can coexist in this group and move on. Then Camille said, yeah, I'm sorry she didn't come to my shower. Kyle lets Camille know that she was mad that she didn't tell her she knew she was invited. Lisa said, I wasn't invited. And all Camille said was, oh, I didn't know you weren't invited. I'm sorry. Kyle was mad at that because she did know she was invited. And then Camille goes, oh, yes, I did know. Yeah, well, you have a right to call me out on that then, yeah. And, you know, Camille's like, I have no beef with her, though. There's nothing going on between her and I. Wait until she watches the show. With her teeth and her bad breath. By the way, side note, I saw your comments, so many of you. I feel like a fool. I didn't know what LT meant, and I'm like, what? Is that a code? Is it a different Lisa? I'm trying to be a big sleuth here, and you guys are like, it's Lisa Todd. Yes, of course it was Lisa Todd. I just wasn't thinking. Aside from that, a couple of you guys came up with some very funny guesses for what LT stood for. And I loved them, and I appreciate it. So the ladies now show up at the Greek, and they're going on back to like some VIP area. And there's this sign on the wall that says Culture Club 9:30 to 10:45. But above that, it looks like from 8 to 9:05 was the B-52s. I mean, I like Culture Club and Boy George, but I would have gone early. Okay, so now Dorit, PK, and Boy George come backstage, and the ladies are all going crazy and talking, hello, this and that. Denise is having a family night at home, so she decided not to come. And Lisa Vanderpump did not come. We cut over to Lisa Vanderpump's house. You just hear the audio of her whispering, I love you. And you're my little sexy one. And stuff like that. And you see an envelope with like a lipstick kiss on it. Flowers. We're like heading up to the bedroom. They did not fool me. And I know they didn't fool you guys either. I knew she was talking to a dog. And of course, she's brushing Hanky, whispering sweet nothings into his little fur face. Back at the concert venue, PK now brings Billy Idol around for all the ladies to say hello to. Oh my God, you guys, I love Denise Richards. I just do. She's at home with the kids. She's helping Lola with homework. She says in the confessional, Dorit knows how much I love Boy George, but, you know, family comes first. She and Aaron are sitting on the couch, and he said, how's it going with Charles? And she goes, he filed a petition to lower his child support payments. Apparently, it was in the tabloids first. That's how she first heard about it. And Denise said, when I married him, we had no prenup. So when we got divorced, I could have taken half of his money. But I didn't, because I'm not a greedy little whore. And she said, but he blew all his money. I should have taken half because I could have put it aside for him and taken care of it for him. Okay, so Erica had to leave early because she had to hop on a plane, but everybody else is commenting about how they're getting along so well and they're just all having so much fun at this concert. They're singing and they're dancing to I'll Tumble For Ya. How could anything go wrong from here? So the concert's over, they all go backstage again, and side note, they pass by the poster, and now I can see the whole thing. Before the B-52s was Tom Bailey from the Thompson Twins. I would have liked to see that, too. I'm an 80s girl. I mean, it really would have been like a fun night. Okay, so now all the ladies head back to Boy George's dressing room. Boy George and PK are waiting for them. And he's like, where were you guys? And he was telling them they were up in front. They had so much fun. Somebody asked Boy George if he could see people from up there. He said, yeah, this one woman right in front was on her phone the whole time. I don't know if he reached out to take it from her or he had a conversation with her about, you know, shows going on right now. Maybe you want to look up and stuff. And Kyle said, weren't you afraid to do that? And he said, no, why? And she goes, I don't know. I think like, I would think somebody would try and hurt me. And Boy George goes, no, do you really want to hurt me? And they're laughing. And she said, I would be afraid thinking someone would want to hurt me. And PK said, you can't think like that. Nobody's like that. Well, maybe with you, Kyle, because you can't even get along with your friends. Let the games begin, people. Kyle's about to throw down. Side note, is PK in like a stretchy skinny jean? Because he shouldn't be. I'm just like, look at his legs right here. That is a tight pant, right? So Kyle says, PK, you're in the same f***ing boat. And he goes, it's a joke. It's a joke. And she goes, no, a joke is when everybody is laughing. And he goes, it's an English joke, not an American joke. So now we're going to go through this again. The English sense of humor is different than American sense of humor. I know some of you guys from the UK have told me that when we were talking about Lisa Vanderpump before, that she doesn't mean a lot of the stuff she says. It is a joke. And you know, I'm not disputing that. I'm not British. So that could very well be true. She doesn't mean it personally. She doesn't mean it to hurt. It's just that if somebody is hurt and not taking it the right way, you're gonna have to say, I didn't mean to hurt you. Because if you don't, there's gonna be all these crazy misunderstandings. And if everybody's cool with it, everybody's cool with it. That's fine. With what PK said, I get that it was a joke. I get that. It's like, it's sort of teasing. He's teasing her about what's going down with Lisa Vanderpump. The problem is that it is maybe a little too raw because they're right in the middle of it with her. So I think maybe, I don't know, maybe it's the timing. So Kyle's, pissed off because she feels like the only reason she's in this situation with Lisa Vanderpump is because she's defending PK's wife, which is partially true. I mean, make no mistake about it. I think Kyle got herself all embroiled in this on her own. But yeah, it all stems around Dorit and the stupid dog. Again, not a stupid dog. Now I sound like Lisa Vanderpump. Not a stupid dog, probably a lovely dog. So PK's like, oh my God. And she goes, I hate to tell you this, PK, but Lisa's not talking to you either. And he goes, well, Kenny is. I had a big, long conversation with Kenny, and well, we'll see about that. We'll see. So to the confessional, Kyle's like, what is this? With PK now giving me a jab when all I was doing was defending his wife. Why? So that he can now get back in Lisa and Ken's good graces? Maybe. Oh God, now Dorit is trying to explain English humor. PK and Boy George and Lisa Vanderpump, they have a different sense of humor. It's their way of joking, which I know it's hurtful, but... Oh God. Okay, I wouldn't say British humor is hurtful. I don't think you're making this any better, Dorit. Anyway, Kyle tells PK, I hate to tell you this, but you're in the same boat. And he's like, well, I don't think I'm quite in the same boat you're in. And she's like, oh, okay, great. So that's pretty much it for that conversation. All the ladies get up and head out, thanking Boy George. And Camille's like, I love you to your new song. So Dorit hangs back with PK, of course, and Boy George. The ladies are now heading downstairs to go home. Camille, that was a nasty comment. And you've been defending her the whole time, Kyle. And Kyle's like, are you kidding me? He's so rude. Dorit is now trying to tell PK that he shouldn't have said that. She said, you don't know these women as well as I do. And he said, and I don't need to know them. Downstairs now, we've got Kyle, Camille, Lisa, Rinna, and Teddy. And they're discussing the fact that PK now had a big, long conversation with Ken. Kyle said, forget me. It's disrespectful to his own wife. So Teddy said, so whatever conversation he had today with Ken has gotten PK to a place where now this is how he's talking. Okay, they're trying to stir up some controversy now. Okay, so Dorit, basically, PK's done. He's not gonna, it was a joke and he's not apologizing for it. And Dorit is left saying, I married PK because of his great sense of humor. But now it's coming back to bite me in the ass. And she's right. Because the ladies are down in their van, sitting there, still rehashing the whole thing. Okay, so now Dorit goes down to where the ladies are at the van. I mean, they're just ragging on him. It's going on and on. And Lisa Rinna sees her first. Oh, Dorit's here, Dorit's here, Dorit's here. So they finally shut up. And Dorit said, listen, I totally understand how you feel. But I also know that PK only meant it as a joke. He loves you and he feels comfortable with you. And he did not come from a bad place. Was it in poor taste? Yes. Was it stupid? Yes. And Kyle's like, okay. Like, I think Kyle is about to forgive this whole thing, but little Miss Teddy wants to take it in the conspiracy place that she was trying to get it to go earlier. She is now trying to attach that comment to his conversation with Ken earlier, as if somehow he and Ken now are in cahoots against Kyle, and they're trying to like turn this tide. Honestly, guys, I'm not even saying she's wrong because I don't know at this point. But I do know she's trying really hard to turn the conversation around, and Dorit is not having it. Dorit doesn't want it to go in that direction, you know, against her own husband. So now Teddy's like, yeah, but the conversation he had with Ken, and Dorit goes, Teddy, I'm not talking about that right now. Let me have a conversation with Kyle for 2 seconds. Teddy's not taking too kindly to that, ma'am. Teddy looks over at Kyle and she goes, the way she just spoke to me is so inappropriate. Kyle's like, don't get upset. Don't get upset. So now Kyle says, my whole fight has been about protecting the two of you, meaning Teddy and Dorit. And Dorit goes, no. Your fight has been about your own experiences with Lisa. Now it's not so good between Kyle and Dorit. Oh, God. Oh, Lisa Rinna for the win on this one, you guys. Now, Kyle and Dorit are still going at it. The other three sit down on some park bench now. And Rinna goes, I think he actually thinks he's being funny. But he's not. Just like Vanderpump thinks she's funny. So here's what I think. Maybe we shouldn't be friends with British people. Okay. And she's laughing. And then to the confession cam, she says, I'm so sick of it's British humor, darling. I wish I could hide behind British humor, but no. I'm just an asshole with iconic hair and big lips. That was great. Believe it or not, this episode ends with everybody making up. Dorit and Teddy end up getting out in the open what was bothering the two of them, and Teddy seems like she accepts Dorit's apology. Dorit said, I was just trying to apologize to Kyle, and Kyle's like, I know, it's fine, and she's gonna get over it. It's really her beef was with PK anyway, but like, I think they're good for now. It ended with everybody in a good place. And that is where this episode ends. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe to Jill Informed if you haven't already. Please consider giving this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'm going to be right back here next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central Time for the next recap of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Bye-bye.